According to the basic laws of aviation, bees shouldn't be able to fly because of their small wings and fat bodies, but they fly anyway. Bees don't care what humans think, but if humans mess with them, the bees won't hold back.
He's just a little bee, and he happens to be the nicest bee I've met in a long time.
Long time? What are you talking about? Are there other bugs in your life?
No, but there are other things bugging me in life, and you're one of them.
Fine. Talking bees, no yogurt night. My nerves are fried from riding on this emotional roller coaster.
Goodbye, Ken.
Oh!
Barry B. Benson is a young bee living happily in his natural hive. Today is his big day. He's finally graduating. After dressing up, he waves goodbye to his parents and meets his best friend, Adam Flayman. On their way to the ceremony, they recall how they spent their student life. 3 days in preschool, 3 days in high school, and 3 days in college. That's all it takes to graduate in a hive. But for a bee, days feel like years. After a short ceremony, the graduates are taken on a tour of Honex Industries, the place where they'll spend the rest of their lives. The industry is divided into different departments, and every bee has a specific role in honey making. They also develop defense strategies for when they go out to collect nectar. All the new graduates must choose their lifelong job, and most are excited, except for Barry. He isn't ready to pick one thing to do forever. He tries to explain this to Adam, but no other bee dares to think differently. Their conversation is cut short by the arrival of the pollen jocks, the elite bee squad responsible for collecting nectar. Barry is fascinated by them, especially because they get to explore the outside world. Noticing his interest, one of the pollen jocks promises to take Barry for a ride someday. That night, Barry can't stop thinking about his future. He shares his doubts with his father, but like most parents, his dad just wants him to follow tradition and become a honey stirrer. Barry tries to argue, but it's pointless. Tradition always wins. The next morning, the bees gather at the job placement board. Positions are limited, since every bee has to work at Honex. Luckily, Adam gets his preferred role because a worker bee recently passed away. Barry, however, can't accept this system. He doesn't want to spend his life as an average bee. He sneaks away to see the pollen jocks just as they're preparing for flight. Recognizing him, they invite him to join, on one condition: follow the Golden Bee rule. No talking to humans.
And a reminder for all you rookies, bee law number 1, absolutely no talking to humans. All right, launch position!
As they fly out of the hive, Barry sees the sky for the very first time. They soar past kites, under bridges, and into flower fields. The pollen jocks collect nectar and pollinate while Barry watches in awe. Later, they spot what looks like daisies, but are actually tennis balls. Barry, still inexperienced, gets stuck on one. A young girl picks it up and starts playing, sending Barry into a panic. After a series of accidents, including nearly getting crushed, landing inside a car engine, and escaping insect spray, he barely survives. Then it starts raining, which is deadly for bees. Desperate for shelter, Barry flies into an apartment, the same one belonging to the tennis players. Inside, chaos erupts when guests see him. Barry ends up falling into nacho dip before being saved by a kind young woman who values all living creatures.
I'm just saying all life has value. You don't know what he's capable of feeling.
She takes him to the window to release him, but Barry can't just leave without thanking her. Mustering his courage, he speaks, and the woman, shocked, realizes she's talking to a bee. Despite the strangeness of the moment, she offers him tea. They sit together on the balcony and get to know each other. Her name is Vanessa Bloom. Like Barry, she's struggling with her career. She dreams of being a florist, but her parents disapprove. Their shared frustrations bring them closer. When Barry returns to the hive that night, he can't get Vanessa out of his mind. Barry tells Adam about the outside world and about Vanessa. Adam is horrified that Barry has feelings for a human, but Barry is already smitten. The next day, Barry risks his life again to see Vanessa. She shows him her flower shop and later takes him to a grocery store. To Barry's shock, shelves are lined with honey jars. His people's hard work is being stolen and sold. Outraged, he sneaks into a honey company, fights with an employee, and learns of massive honey farms where bees are enslaved. Barry gathers evidence and decides to sue humanity. With Vanessa's help, Barry brings the case to court, facing off against the slick lawyer Leighton T. Montgomery. Leighton claims humans have the right to exploit nature, and even mocks Barry, calling him a robot or hologram. Barry fights back with strong witnesses, including Sting and Ray Liotta, and wins public sympathy. On the second day, however, Layton tries to discredit him by exposing his relationship with Vanessa and questioning Bee Society itself. The situation escalates when Adam stings Layton in court, nearly dying in the process. But Barry regains control by presenting the smoker device used against bees. Layton's lies are exposed, and the bees win the trial. Ecstatic, Barry shuts down all honey farms, bans honey products, and returns the stolen honey to the hives. For the first time ever, bees no longer need to work. They stop pollinating, and flowers start to disappear. Vanessa's business collapses, and nature begins to wither. Realizing too late, Barry sees the damage his victory has caused. To fix things, he and Vanessa come up with a daring plan: steal flowers from the upcoming flower parade and bring them back as a source of pollen. Together they sneak into the parade, ready to restore the balance. They choose a suitable flower float and drive it away. Afterward, they board a plane to return as quickly as possible so the flowers can stay fresh. Unfortunately, bad weather forces the plane to slow down. Barry decides to talk to the pilots about it, but they panic when they see a bee in the cockpit. In the chaos, the emergency button is pressed, airbags deploy, and both pilots are knocked unconscious, leaving no one to fly the plane. Vanessa contacts the control room, and they ask if anyone on board has flying experience. Barry volunteers, believing that flying a plane is just like controlling a giant metal bee. But the situation is dire. The plane is heading straight into a thunderstorm. News of the crisis spreads quickly across both human and bee networks. Everyone is waiting for the outcome. The control room doubts Barry, claiming bees shouldn't even be able to fly with their tiny wings and big bodies. This angers Barry, who delivers a heartfelt speech. Bees are a vital part of society. Each bee may play a small role, but together their efforts make a huge difference. His words inspire the bees, and soon reinforcements arrive. The pollen jocks come to the rescue, flying beneath the plane and holding it steady. Barry puts his trust in them and shuts off the engines. With his guidance, Vanessa takes control and manages to land the plane safely. At the airport, thousands of bees gather to form a giant flower sign on the runway, celebrating this historic moment of a plane flying and landing like an insect. But this isn't the end. The flowers Barry brought back are the last hope to restore the ecosystem. It's time for the bees to do what they do best. Barry is officially given a pollen jock uniform and joins in collecting pollen. Together, the bees spread pollen across the city, fields, and forests. Soon, plants bloom again. Flowers return, and honey production resumes. A few days later, Barry starts a new life with Vanessa. They run a flower and honey shop together. On top of that, Barry also works as a legal advisor for animals in need. And of course, he proudly continues his duty as a pollen jock. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications, and don't forget to like and comment. Thank you!